What does possibility mean to you?
That's a hard question.
Something that you can strive for.
That I'm able to do anything I set my mind to.
You're confident in yourself and you believe in yourself. Stuff that you could achieve.
I feel excited. Anything is possible when you're more confident.
Shoes are a huge part of that. They are the most important part of my style.
You can express yourself.
In the right shoes, anything is possible.
DSW, countless shoes at brag-worthy prices. Imagine the possibilities.
Welcome to the local lowdown and find out what's happening in Lavaca County, Texas. Now here are your hosts, Murray and Michelle.
Hello everybody, this is Murray back with you for the September 3rd and 4th of 2025 issues of all the newspapers in Lavaca County, as well as the Luling Newsboy and Signal over in Caldwell County, Texas. And I've got my co-host Michelle here with me. How are you, Michelle?
I'm doing great.
You're ready to go, I bet.
I am ready.
Before we get started, do you want to say a little something about the upcoming soccer season?
Well, only because you said I had to. No, I'm kidding. Yes, so soccer begins. I think it has already started in Shiner. I'm not really sure. But I know in Hallettsville, Ani is a part of the soccer association, and their opening ceremonies is this Saturday.
Tell them who Ani is.
And Ani is the office manager, boss lady.
All around good lady.
Well, that wasn't
no horn on that.
That wasn't my third bullet point. I don't know. But she said that she may talk to us next week and tell us how it went. So support those kiddos. Best of luck. We hope they all have a great season. I think they have a whole lot of teams. So
didn't they have a meal yesterday or not?
They did.
Yeah. Did you get one?
No.
I didn't either. After I saw it, I said, man, I wish they still had some tickets left, but it was too late probably because it was already Wednesday.
Yeah, no, I didn't get any.
It sounded like a pretty good meal. Was it smoked turkey? Or
smoked turkey and potato salad and beans.
Sounds good.
Murray, you like anything that's called barbecue-like.
You got that right. Well, I guess before we start in the papers, I wanted to mention, too, that, first of all, we'll have Michelle's comments on Michelle's questions will be after the papers. And look forward to Henry Joe Yashek. We'll talk about that, but he was in the Hallettsville paper, and we'll talk a little more about him in a few minutes.
And turning Chuck green.
Yeah. Chuck ain't too happy about that. And then he really wasn't happy when I said he'll be on the front page of Moulton next week. He gave me a horn. But anyway. Well, let's go ahead on then and start. We're going to start off with our friend Nicole Smith's paper, the Luling News.
And I feel like now it could be Nicole and Michelle's paper.
Oh, yeah. By God, let's get your name in
there.
Let's
do it.
Yeah.
I feel like we are running the show now and we're loving it. And I had a great time working with Nicole this week on this paper. She's very organized and kind and, Well,
it seemed like y'all did pretty well. I mean,
we did, and no one yelled at me, which is a big difference from this office.
Well, I think you got it done fairly quick, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna get better though. Get better. It just it always takes a little bit, and what we're talking about is I'm now laying out the Luling paper. So it was new to me this week, but it's coming along.
I'll tell you what, I love that front page picture, boy. She caught the action right there of what was going on with them kids helping one another.
A lot of emotion in that picture.
You bet you.
So great job doing that. And actually, the second picture on the page she also took. You can tell they're pretty fired up.
Yep.
So you need to pick up your Luling Newsboy. If you are from Lavaca County, you should still maybe think of subscribing because it's worth it. With just the pictures in general.
Yeah, we may have people in Lavaca County that have friends over there or family, because these counties, Lavaca and Gonzales and Caldwell County and Fayette County, we're all kind of intertwined as far as kinfolks, being in this place and that
True.
one. So that's a good idea. You folks need to give the Luling paper a look.
But so what we're talking about is on the top of her first page. Of course, everyone started Friday Night Lights last week. And the Eagles did as well, but they came up short on a victory by points, but they obviously were victorious in showing heart to their fellow What would that be? Opponent.
They
Opponent.
were
That's the
playing Nixon Smiley Mustang.
So they helped one of the Mustangs off the field after he was injured. And you can tell he's in pain, and you can tell that they truly are supporting him with kindness. So it's a great way to be. Sportsmanship is amazing. And then I was talking about the frustrations that you see in the next picture. And that was the county Democrats talking strategy. So read all about that. She writes a story about the power of an empty chair, which I'm just going to say I don't know what it's about, but it sounds like a good article. This lady retired. Her name is Danica Good. And she leaves a lasting legacy. Listen to what she's done. And, of course, Nicole also covered Commissioner's Court.
You know, Nicole, those two pictures we were talking about the football players in the meeting. When you hear that old saying that a picture's worth 1,000 words,
both of
those
them
two pictures do it. You wouldn't have to even know, what it was or a caption. You'd know that there was hurt and frustrations.
That's right. So good job, Nicole.
Good job, Nicole.
We're so proud of you.
We'll expect some honey buns or a watermelon. I don't know which.
Anything that we can put in our mouth, we're happy with. We also cover, of course, the police reports. There is one obituary, and that is Juan Carlos Gillian. So condolences to his family. Their community spotlight, which is a great part of the newspaper, and this week it's from the Chamber director, and she also is in charge of the oil museum. So see how she wears those two hats. Silence meets requirements. This is talking about the Luling ISD. So she covered the school board. She also had went to the Texas State game and got a great picture from them. And Eric Lugo talks about all of the sports, from NASCAR to college football to everything. And it was a great weekend to be a Bobcat. So let me just tell you, Nicole has been not able to write her own headlines for a while now. So I told her, no, I don't write headlines. You got to do that. And so she missed a few. So when it came to Eric Lugo's, I said, well, what's the headline? And she's like, I don't know. So my husband, who played for Southwest Texas, now Texas State, always says that his coach Friccione, started to say, it's a great day to be a Bobcat. So I put a great weekend to be a Bobcat. So I guess my husband wrote that headline.
Well, that's good. I was thinking about that. There's a way that you can go and have headline suggestions.
Really?
And I'll talk to Nicole about that, because I use it from time to time. Mostly I check with the Associated Press to see perhaps if the headline that I wrote would fit the guidelines for what a headline's supposed to be, according to the Associated Press. Of course, rules are made to be broken. You don't have to go exactly by what they say. But, when you sit down to write, a lot of times you'll just get a writer's block. You just can't think of anything. And so that's a big help, and I'll talk to her about that later on.
That's very nice of you, sharing trade secrets.
I'm a good old man.
You never shared it with me, but that's nice of you.
Here we go.
So Luling, like we said, they did come up a little short, just 1 point in their loss. And what else? We have a updated cross country for both Luling ISD and Prairie Lea. Their homecoming is coming up, Luling, so check out their court. Students earn some recognition, and we also have the Gridiron Gurus, which you'll find on the back page this week. And I'm not really good at reading this, but it looks like Mark McCullen is the one leading the show with 11-4 record.
Do we know who Luling is playing this Friday?
Yes, we do. Anderson Shiro Fighting Owl.
Oh, that's a new one. I don't know who that is. Well, that's good.
But come on, Brittany and Shanna, I would like you guys to catch up just a little bit. Shanna didn't do too bad, 9-6. She's tied with Paul Easterling and the musician. But come on, Brittany.
All right. Going to jump on over now to the flagship of our newspapers, the Hallettsville Tribune Herald, and we are featuring an important individual on the front page, right?
Yes.
Well, go ahead.
It's kind of like I said on my Facebook post. If you ask anyone in the office who my favorite person is, who would you say?
Henry Joe Yashik.
Henry Joe Yashik, hands down.
And I imagine everybody in the office is happy to see him on the front page.
Except someone that's turning green in the sports editor's office. Green with envy, that is. But, I mean, seriously, like, I actually told Gilbert this last night in bed. I was like, yeah, Henry is celebrating 70 years. Now, he hasn't finished his 70th year. He started his 70th year. But, so now, like, Gilbert's like, how old is he? Because you gotta think, the dates are very close. He started as a teenager, has worked here all of his, working adult life, or worked in the newspaper for one of our 4 papers, I should say, or 5. And he's just, incredible, right?
Yep. I've known him a long, long time. When my folks lived here in Hallettsville, and we lived in Gonzales at the time, and when my folks got up in age, well, we decided to move over here so we could help them out. And I commuted back and forth to the Gonzales Enquirer for a while, and then I went to work at Hoper's Drive-In, and actually I went to work there full time. And this little fella, Henry Joe Yashik, was one of the first people I met, and made me feel right at home, and
Life changing.
we worked together. I worked there 5 years, and then I started working for I was working for the Tribune part-time at the time. But I've been with him for 25 years, and he's a unique individual, and he's well loved in the community, and I don't know of anybody that don't know him, because just about everybody in this town's been in Hoper's at one time or another.
That's right.
You'll see that little fella, he's usually on the front register where he can welcome everybody when they come in the door. But, that's Henry Joe, and he's an icon in this area. And that's all I got to say about that.
What, do y'all ever fight?
Oh, no.
Never.
Just on Tuesdays, we've got one thin, what do you call those, partitions?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. A little wall.
A little wall between our offices, and he does the typesetting, and I get the articles from him to lay out and put in my paper in Moulton, and then I also send them to Michelle. And sometimes we do get a little, they get a little crosswise in there, but there's hollering and laughing and
then hugging.
A little cursing, and then when the papers hit the streets, it's all love and kisses.
Hugs, kisses, love, all the good stuff. Tuesdays are hard. We're not going to lie.
Yep.
It's a lot going on, and you have a very, very short time to get it all together. But Henry does great. He doesn't really get mad. Sometimes at Chuck.
Well, now we better back that up, because Chuck and I both, we can get that nasty word out of him. And sometimes we try for it and say, we got it at 9 o'clock, we got it at 8:30,
Yeah,
But,
and that's a real early start to that word. And then it seems to just keep going. But he's incredible. And he kills my foot-long roaches.
Yeah.
When no one else comes.
You're a big fan of his, that's for sure.
That's right. Because he takes care of me. I have never said, Henry, can you do this for me? He has never said no. When I ask the rest of these fools, I don't even get the first word out. Can. And the minute I say can, they're like, no.
Well, you shouldn't ask so much.
Are you sure?
Well, yeah, I mean, these are a bunch of old men.
I know,
And
that's
they're
the
set
best
in their
part.
ways.
That is true. I wish I had a horn to say yes, true.
And they've got a lot on their plate.
Well, I don't know about that.
And when you get old like that, it's a little harder to concentrate. And then you have that deadline. And then you have somebody running in there, can you do this? Can you do that? And
in a cute little voice, just like that.
oh yes. Go ahead and finish the paper. That's enough of that nonsense.
Let's talk about weight. I think Ani and I decided that men are more set in their ways, and that old men are double the trouble. Is that true?
Well, I don't know. I've known a lot of old women that are pretty tough.
Margaret? Oh.
No.
Oh, no. I just called Margaret
I
old.
didn't say Margaret.
Let's just say some man came in and told Margaret she looked good. this
All right.
week. And that is no joke. Margaret does not look like she's, I won't say her age because I don't know, but the age she is, she looks very good after I called her old.
And she does a good job
She does.
catching all our mistakes.
Yes, and there's a lot of them
You
if
bet.
you're Chuck Groff. All right, moving right along. We also, Henry didn't make the top of the page, thank God, because then he would be with the criminals of the week. But Levack County Sheriff's Office was busy. That's where I told Chuck he may end up on the top of my page, right there. And so you can see now, granted, they have not been tried by a jury of their peers, and so they are innocent until proven guilty.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
they were arrested.
They'll see them all.
Chuck gave me a picture for our front page, and that is of two young men from the Hallettsville football team holding up number 52 jersey in honor of Braden Robertson, who passed away in a tragic car accident. So LLB stands for Live Like Braden.
You
And
bet.
so they are playing like Braden for this
bet.
year. Clayton Kelly did a great story on how Levack County EMS has the ability to help animals. And so, especially during the flood when they were down there, you could see this lady, her name's Dawn Muller, was giving oxygen to one of the dogs.
Was that while they were on assignment in the hill country?
Yes,
Or-
in Kerrville.
Okay.
And then we have hospital board, a special called meeting for the commissioner's court is inside, and also a Hallettsville ISD meeting. So read about all of that we have going on. Henry has a new question. What was the name of the American radio station about? No, this isn't new. Okay, but anyway, about the black characters initially set in Chicago, then later in the Harlem section of New York City.
Yeah, he's been getting some calls on that. He got one the other day at it.
And it was hard, huh? Did you want to know the right answer is what he said. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
him say.
the guy tried. He tried about 100 times, and then finally Henry said, "Do you want to know the answer?" And me and Jimmy back there cracking up. You know, what if he tells all his friends?
Right.
Here we go. That's our boy.
And his thought of the day is expect nothing, appreciate everything.
All right.
I think it's a good one. That's why I mentioned
Sweet
it.
little man.
But Henry always has thoughts of the day, so we should always look at that. It was a tough week for Hallettsville football,
Yeah.
at least. Both Coach Dowell, his debut was spoiled by the Schulenburg Shorthorns, and Chuck says the Comanches justify their state ranking here.
Well, I didn't get to watch the game, but I listened to a lot of it, and they sound pretty tough. But, you know, Chuck had said when we had him back here interviewing him that it was going to be their time. I think Hallettsville had beaten them, last
Three times.
last 3 times. So they got their revenge, and they do sound mighty impressive. So people in that district need to watch out for them Comanches because they're coming.
They are coming, and it wasn't the best game just because sometimes you like a little bit more excitement, but it wasn't bad. And it was we set up, Jimmy and I, and Jimmy and I know everything.
Yeah.
We said it was a well-called game. There wasn't a lot of flags. And I said that's because the referees,
Was
there
there
was
a
two
lot
women.
of people there?
Yes. We do our athletes of the week again, and we'd like to congratulate both Faith Garcia of Hallettsville High and Wyatt Crom. And then from Sacred Heart, Catherine Lemons and Ryan Yana.
And who sponsors that?
And that is American Shield, which is Mr. Lamson's company.
All right.
So, Chuck has some of the picks of the week. Not real sure what they all are, but looks like a little fun. I was trying to see what Shiners is, because, sometimes I like to know. Let's see. Oh, that's the top 10 in the district. That's not the picks. Oh, here's Harris picks. Shiner is 7 over Rice. I feel like it's going to be more. What do you think?
Well, Rice, they're a 3A school, so
Right.
I don't know. You can't ever tell.
And Shiner is ranked second.
How about Jots from Jim?
Shots from Jim. I have no clue what he was talking about. Let's see. Oh, he went to the Astros game, so hear how that was.
I think they lost.
Probably.
Poor old Jim.
And he said that someone ran into the thing and got 20 stitches. The scoreboard.
Oh,
so
no.
read about that.
All right. I think he had his whole family up there with him.
Yeah, isn't that fun? But he
Yeah.
didn't take us. Read about the new Texas laws that took effect. Jimmy and I were talking about some of those. If you don't know what SB stands for, do you know what it stands for? You don't?
Oh.
Senate bill.
Oh, yeah.
I learned it this morning. Oh, don't act like you knew.
Oh, I knew that.
You didn't know.
I have to see it in print.
Yeah, okay, whatever. And Larry Joe talks about the weather. 10 days over 100 degrees.
Lord have mercy.
Good thing we work indoors.
You betcha.
Thanks to Lavaca Medical Center for their ad this week. And they're talking about their new providers. So check that out.
Okay, we're going to fly on over to the Molten Eagle, and a lot of the stuff in the Eagle is...
Are we flying because we're eagles? Okay.
There's an eagle on the masthead, so yeah, he's flying. But two of the front page stories are repetitive of what Michelle just got through.
It's almost like someone would have stole them right off your page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens quite often. I don't know if it's people avoiding work or letting old Murray do all the work and then getting, whatever. And what's Clayton writing about there?
Clayton is writing about that the council weighs in on emergency bell alert.
Yep. They're going to try to have something kind of that people say would have prevented all those deaths in Kerrville and the Hill Country from that flood. So Moulton's thinking about setting up some sort of warning system probably for weather and floods and things like that. What's your little best friend got up there?
He's talking about the Novorod School, and of course that's where he attended school. So read about it. It's very exciting. And you're talking about... Oh, were you talking about my little friend Murray or my little friend Henry?
No, I was talking about the one you love the most, Henry Joe Yashi.
Oh, okay.
But Murray has one in there about the...
lost treasure of Padre Island.
That's a pretty good story, friends. It's all true, and it's about a man that was part of the Singer family that invented the sewing machine, and he was a big treasure hunter back in the day, back around the Civil War era. And it's a pretty lengthy article, so I won't try to tell you all about it, but if you're into treasure hunting and history, I think you'll enjoy it. Alrighty, what else you got, Michelle?
All right, and Grandparents' Day is coming up. Can I ask you a question about this?
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of controversy on Facebook about it being called Grandparents' Day, or like schools invite grandparents, and then some kids don't have grandparents or don't have grandparents that live close that could come. So should it be like Adult Day or bring an adult? Or you think that people should just get over it and learn that sometimes you don't
That
get what
sounds
you
like
get?
a little bit of woke stuff is infiltrated.
Kind of, so I'm just asking what your thoughts
No,
are.
I think that they should leave it the name, and I think that we should have people like those Big Brother programs. I think there ought to be like Big Brother grandparents that can come and step in. I would do that, and I think there's a lot of people that would do it.
Great, my daughter plays tonight. You want to come?
I can't make it.
Now that is the true Murray. I know. He just said he would step in and then says he can't make it to something. But I kind of agree with the same thing. I think it is Grandparents' Day. Like, that's how it's listed on the calendar. But I do think that, we can live in a world where you could bring other people. And sometimes grandparents aren't by blood. I know that my daughter has a set of grandparents that are actually one of my best friend's parents. They're her godparents that we chose, and they are definitely have stepped in that role. And I mean, no one questions it really when they go or when they went when she was younger. She still has grandparents as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. I also think that if your kids don't have grandparents, take them to a nursing home or a retirement home.
That's a good idea.
And I promise
That is
you,
a good
those ladies and gentlemen will love on your kids, and they will learn so much from spending time, making them cards,
You bet.
doing whatever. So I promise you, there is a way to share that bond. And I had said it yesterday, which I don't call you guys old just because, like, it's fun. But you are a different generation than I am. But I enjoy working with you guys. I've learned so much. It is fun to cross gap the generations. And then you have Clayton, come in.
Clayton Kelly with 2 E's.
With 2 E's. So just remember, like, everyone is a person and everyone can be your friend and be an inspiration. And it's good to not, first of all, not have your kids scared of nursing homes and stuff, because they're not scary.
Well, that's a good idea. I think some of the schools, they will go to nursing homes on certain days and do different things.
And dance schools.
But that's a good idea. Maybe you should write an article about it.
Maybe I should.
Yeah, I think that's
In
a
my
great
spare
idea.
time.
This woke stuff is, I don't want to get started on that, but I think, what was it that they were going to name a mother was going to be like a birthing person or something like that.
I haven't heard that.
I'm sorry, folks. I just can't. I can't swallow that. No matter.
That is interesting. I haven't heard that one yet. We also have I don't know that I mentioned it, but the pesticide applicator course that's being offered on September 25th is in our paper. Some cross country going on in Moulton. Just because they don't play football or volleyball doesn't mean they're not busy athletes. And they're doing well. No one called about your picture, huh, Murray?
Not yet. I probably won't run it again because I've got so many others that I can run.
But please call. It's so fun.
But I love that. I just love that picture. And I don't know, but it's so, you got to remember it's so dang old, because when I was working over in Moulton, that was 20 years ago.
Right.
And all these pictures were in a filing cabinet. And the lady I was working with over there, Barbara Hermison, they had all that file, and I know what it was. It was photographs that had run in the paper at some point. And I picked them up and scanned them, and I got a ton of them. And I just thought it'd be fun to see if we could find out if anybody knew,
And I really want to know, so let's do it. We have drugs found on a traffic stop on I-10.
Yeah, that was over in Fayette County, and they sent me that press release. And because it was close enough to Moulton, I decided that we would run it. So that's all we got for the Moulton Eagle. We're going to go on over to one of Michelle's favorite newspapers.
Now I have 3.
Oh, yeah.
I keep adding on here.
The Shiner Gazette. What you got?
All right. So in Shiner, Clayton Kelly checked in on the STAR scores, and he discusses what the new superintendent, Dr. Levi Moses, said about how he felt the scores lined up and what the future looks like for that. We also have another story by Clayton Kelly, who did an article on Julia Foyt, who attended a mission trip in Mexico and her experiences. Then we're moving right along. Some police beat is going on. We have some coloring contest winners, so those are going to slowly come in. You'll see them in our paper next week. And we thank all those for competing. We also have the Catholic Church picnic winners listed. We're not going to say who they are. You have to go figure it out, right? So we have a good week in Shiner. I didn't know if St. Paul won, so I was still reading that. But yes, St. Paul and Shiner both took victories. And Chuck Groff took this picture for Mark Luby. Imagine that.
All right.
So it was like he was working.
You got to have about a page and a half of Shiner Sports, right?
No, it's 2 pages. Look, this is his.
Oh, yeah, that's a jump, right?
Yeah,
All right.
he was busy. Mark Luby was a busy little beaver.
Yeah, and you even got to take a picture with him.
I did. He sat in the stands with me at the game, and that really, really bothered Chuck. I feel like there was some more green envy going on there. But yes, we heard about it several times that Mark sat in the stands, but I enjoyed the game with Mark. It was fun.
Well, that's good.
And there's a second annual Alzheimer's walk coming up, so see when that is, and if you have a chance to participate. And I did forget to get this in an ad about the Campsite Chatter. We talked about it last week. Please look this week; it'll be in your papers. But we're looking for stories. As you know, I know nothing about hunting. I asked again this week if y'all would take me hunting, and what did Jimmy say? Do you remember, Murray?
No.
He said, I don't think I want to be anywhere where you are holding a loaded gun.
You know, that's a thought.
I don't even know how to take
that. That is
that.
a thought. Well, that's a scary thing. You with a gun? What if a big foot-long roach runs into the...
I don't know. I don't know what would happen.
You know, say we're in a stand.
Yeah.
A little wooden stand up in the air.
Yeah.
And say there's two of us in there and we both have guns.
Yeah.
One of us knows how to use one and the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
The other one is an old man. He's calm and collected. He's shot deer before. He's not scared. Then we have a person that when a foot-long roach runs across her foot, you would have thought the world was coming to an end. And then she has a loaded gun? No thanks. Jimmy was right.
So I guess no one will ever take me hunting. So I'm not going to have a hunting story. But if you guys would share one with me, I would really, really appreciate it.
All right. Going to Yoakum, huh?
We're going. All right, Yoakum finished their homecoming. They're just flying through the year.
Yeah.
We're only on the first week of football, and they're
I don't believe I've
home.
ever heard of anybody having their homecoming on the first week.
Me neither, but congratulations to their court. I'm not going to tell you who won. Do you know why? Because you need to go get your paper. But I'm going to tell you it's on the front page.
That's right.
And you definitely should check it out. What else do we got? Yoakum Fire Department's always working on their skills, and they had a department drill. There was some ribbon cuttings going on. We have one obituary. Mr. Gary shows condolences to his family. Lots of sports. Lots of sports. So, some team pictures that we have going on. Yoakum did well, right?
They won their game.
They
sure did.
Won. And so congrats to them on a fun start to the season. We're always looking for more advertisers. And you may think it's not true, but I would say the average for sale ad in our classified only has to run 1, if not 2 weeks, and the item is sold. So.
Yeah. I don't think people really realize how much attention that those classified pages get. You know, I guess if you're not looking for anything, then maybe you just blow right past them. But people that are looking for employees or electricians or plumbers or whatever, or help wanted, they're going to look at that. And so check it out. You know, like I always say, you might find something on there you didn't know you needed. Check out the classifieds. We got them in all our papers.
And that's it.
All right. You know, a while ago when we were on Shiner,
Yeah.
I made a note of who Hallettsville and Sacred Heart were playing this week. Once Hallettsville's playing Gonzales and Sacred Heart's playing Latonia. Do you know who?
Shiner is playing Rice.
Okay. Oh, you said that, I think.
Yes.
How about St. Paul?
St. Paul.
Yeah, you did say it. I forget because I wasn't familiar with the
or
name
you
of
weren't
the
listening to me, which is a normal for you.
Oh, what an ugly thing to say.
They're going to League. Oh God, it's a jump. League. Where's the jump? Where is it? Help me find it. League City Bay Area Christian.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about your question.
Oh, okay.
Michelle had a question this week, and I think we had 11 or 12 people respond. And what was the question exactly, Michelle? Do you remember?
I was talking about the flood of 1981. It happened on August the 31st in Lavaca County. I may have to step out to get the internet. Hold on just a second. You keep talking.
Yeah, I will. She had some pictures with that question. It was of the 81 flood that hit here in Hallettsville. And it was the Lavaca River, and it flooded all of downtown. I think they had like 4, 5, 6 foot of water in the downtown on the square. And she included some pictures, and then she kind of asked where people were when it happened. And although I didn't live here at the time, my parents were here, and I remarked about that. So you got it, Michelle?
I got it. You
All
ready?
right, go ahead.
So Murray said he was living in Lake Jackson, working for the Dow Chemical Company, and his parents had moved to Lavaca County and had a place about 3 miles east of Vienna.
All right.
Jimmy, he had started his first day as a teacher at Hallettsville High School, and instead of going to school, he watched boats motoring around the courthouse square over water at least 6 feet deep. Gail Hankey said that she went to Ayler's Furniture, where she was working at the time, and she still does work there part-time. And the men were turning sofas upside down on top of the one across from it, trying to save half of everything, just in case we had water come inside. I was trying to carry office equipment upstairs while manning the phone. Bootsy Ayler was there, but his wife Dorothy was stuck at home across the river and was frantic. Well, we ended up with about 4 feet of water inside, so everything on the bottom floors got wet. Refrigerators and washers and dryers were floating like corks. And that's something we talked about, is the flood waters, like how powerful they are.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, a refrigerator is not light.
Yeah, I think Jimmy had told me, or somebody, I forget who, said that the Lavaca River downstream from Hallettsville had a whole lot of debris in it, and the river couldn't flow on out, so it backed up into Hallettsville.
Oh, no.
That's probably the reason that it was so bad.
Jennifer Kratz said, if you notice the people standing on top of the bank, they had to escape from a hatch on the roof of the bank, then climb down into a rescue boat. And that's one of the pictures she's talking about. Linda Menking said that her family lived in Gonzales. I drove Lee, who was 5 years old at the time, out east Highway 90A to Peach Creek. The water was completely across the road. Lee was completely mesmerized with the water. Lee currently now lives in Hallettsville with her family.
Yeah, Lee is Coach Montgomery's wife.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nancy Hunter, her oldest son Heath, was starting kindergarten. Remember helping move cars from Voskamp Ford dealership to Methodist Church parking lot. We decided not to move back to Austin after experiencing the love and community support the city showed to everyone. We knew this was the place we wanted to raise our children. It will be 50 years in 2026. We chose the Ville as home. Now that's a nice story.
You betcha.
And Sheila Broswood said, I remember seeing everyone's pictures, but I didn't realize some lives were lost. And that came from my post. And so that was in Shiner, the 3 boys' lives lost their lives. So, but we're all connected. So the other lady was talking about Peach Creek, which is on the other side of Shiner, between Shiner and Gonzales. But all of those, when it floods, it really affects everyone. So,
yeah, in '98, I was in Gonzales working for the Gonzales Enquirer, and we had a pretty good flood. In fact, for a while, Gonzales was an island. You could not get in or out.
wow.
All the way around the town. But the Lavaca River did the same thing back in, I forget the year, it was in the 40s, but I've written about it, but I can't remember the year. And there were lives lost in that one too. Because the Lavaca River actually it heads up right around Moulton, where it begins. And I think it's fed by some springs, but it doesn't flow a lot until we get a lot of rain. But when it does, it can be treacherous, just like any other river. Anyway, I mean, we had, about 12, and then you had some on your own page, on your own thing.
And I answered. And then Chuck said he was going to answer, but you know how that goes.
Yeah. Well, a while ago, we were talking about that fall preview.
Yes, the campsite chatter. Yes,
yeah, campsite chatter. What would be the deadline for people? We talked about this before. Do you have a
September 17th.
Okay. And that's for stories and advertising?
No, that's just stories.
Okay.
I'm not sure the advertising deadline. I think it's the 12th, maybe next Friday.
Okay.
Would that be right?
Yeah,
Or next Thursday?
I think that's right.
Somewhere in there.
Well, that's good. You know, I was thinking too about your question. When do you normally put that question?
You
up?
know, whenever it comes into my mind,
Yeah.
usually late at night.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is that we do the podcast on Thursdays,
Yeah.
and I would like for people to submit their own ideas or
Right.
their own questions, but they don't have a lot of time to do it because we gotta have a question before the podcast, and so
Well, maybe I can ask the question today. What are some of your questions? They can turn that in, and then we can have a question for next week, and then start
that'd be
filtering.
good.
Let's do it.
Who would they or where would they need to contact? Here.
We could give them the email address, and then, or they could just put it in the messages, their question, and we'll use them as. Maybe we can draw them out of. We hope to have hundreds and just draw them out of a bucket.
Yeah, because I don't know. We've come up with several ideas, and I think the biggest one, the most active, is anything about food.
Food. Yeah.
But I don't know. We could do that too. I don't know if we ever singled one out like barbecue or whatever. But
Right.
Anyway, I'll let you handle that,
Okay, I can do it.
and then see if you hadn't had any people come forward, then maybe you can have something done by about Tuesday or
I can do it.
yeah.
Maybe. Can I talk about something else?
Yeah, but
Or you want me to wait till
No,
next
you're
week?
okay.
No, it's going to be too long. I'll have to hold off till next
Okay.
week.
All right.
Well, no, I want to talk about it.
Well,
Okay, let's go. So, I am a member of the Friday Night Wives Facebook page, and an anonymous member posted this. I need everyone's thoughts. I called my fiance during practice this past week for something that I felt was urgent in the moment, but wasn't. He answered and was on the phone for 19 seconds. He had to pause practice. He is an assistant coach. I feel like he will be in trouble for picking up now or fired. And so she was very concerned about this. So, because of time, I will tell y'all my thoughts on this next week. But I may put this up and say, what are your thoughts if you're not a football wife? If you call your husband at work or something like that. But I'll tell you as a former coach's wife, since my husband's not currently coaching, how I feel about it.
okay. Well, you can do that.
I'm leaving him hanging. Where you like it?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's it for now.
All right. Well, what do you think about working? Ben is it's the Luling paper is now yours and
It is
And
mine. My baby with
are y'all
Nicole's.
comfortable with it and getting along well? I'm sure. And
Yes, way better because she's a woman and she's amazing like me. No, I don't know. I don't know that that's why, but no, Nicole is great to work with, and we are going to figure out. There's little kinks in just learning different things. Luling has, definitely differences from Hallettsville. It's smaller also. So it's kind of learning that, and I am not as familiar with the community. So
well, as being a page paginator myself,
yeah, you're pretty good at it.
well, I thought I was, but anyway, the point I was going to make is it's nice in your situation as a paginator to have somebody that's a reporter and a photographer feed you so much copy.
Yes, it is
Because
very, very amazing.
With me and Moulton, I have to go online. I have to go to school Facebook pages and Chamber of Commerce Facebook pages because we don't have a lot of reporters at our disposal. And so you're lucky in that point. And Nicole coming over here too and being on our podcast, and we've got to know her real well. And communication is a big part of it. Yes. When you have people you can communicate with that will get back to you, it helps a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah, and let me just say, so Nicole and I opened the pages on Sunday night, or Monday, sorry, the day we had off, Monday. And I started, looking and having questions. And I had called Nicole so many times, and we had so many different conversations, which helped us be successful and was very, very much appreciative. But my daughter said, why don't you just stay on the phone with her? So that's how many times she heard me on the phone with Nicole. So, but I do appreciate it because it does. It's a little bit of a learning curve when you're not used to it. And like I said, I'm not as familiar as I am with Shiner and Hallettsville as to like what's going on in the community. So I want to make sure that, I'm grabbing the most important things and what's upcoming and all of that. So, but it worked really well. Yeah. For the first week, I couldn't be more happy.
Yeah, well, y'all turned out a good product. And,
Thank you.
It looks mighty good. And so kudos to both of y'all, Nicole and yourself. And when I had texted, congratulations.
I was pretty tired.
Nicole said something about she was just trying to be amazing. She knew she'd never reached that.
She was pretty darn close.
I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but she said she was trying her best, and she just didn't know if she could reach that pinnacle. That's a big word like watermelon.
Pinnacle, yeah, it is.
All right, say your goodbyes. Let's get out of here because we're getting short on time.
All right, well, have a great weekend. It's my daughter's 14th birthday. I have no clue what we're doing.
All right, happy birthday.
But she will be 14 on Sunday, so we're going to do something amazing, I'm sure. But happy birthday to her. I can't believe she's 14, but hey, time marches on, right? But whatever you do this week, have a great week.
That it?
That's it.
All right, folks, enjoy your weekend, like Michelle said, and go support your local football team if you can, and just have a safe and happy time. And we appreciate you listening to this podcast, and we hope that you'll share it with your friends. And with that being said, this is old Murray saying goodbye for now. Goodbye.
Bye.